Wanted to get some quick time in today to flesh out enemy behavior stuff. Because we have enemies spawning in from last time, but they're not like interacting well with the existing platform stuff. Like their movement just isn't like smart enough to like function properly in the new environment being set up. So plan is first make a quick test level that is like an isolated setup. There might be some assumptions to chase down of like things that are just true in the main level. So we gotta see what needs to be set up on a level by level basis. Might be some assumptions to remove there. Um, then we spawn in some like challenging platforms or platforms that lead to like bad movement behavior in the status quo. Then we implement new movement behaviors to fix interaction with those platforms. So let's get into it. First thing, gonna make assets, scenes. I love how the main scene is just called test. We're gonna call this movement test. All right, I'm gonna grab from test. Gonna make a player into a prefab so there's like a single player and hopefully it'll inherit changes and stuff as long as those values aren't overridden. And then we'll go back to our other scene, drop in the player. Prefabs. Oh, I need to drop it into the scene. And then just a platform to work with and walk on, hopefully. Not a placeholder one, a real one. Platform, big. Sure, it's fine. No parenting. Move the player down. All right. Let's see if that's a problem for our test level. Yep. What assert is wrong? Camera shake. Okay. This is the listener on the player. The player like references the camera, so when he gets hit, he can shake the camera. So we probably need to go in here and, well, actually, you know what we should really do is just also make a prefab of the camera. So I guess there's some stuff baked in there. Oh, I guess this says the spawn boxes, and I don't really want it to. I didn't break out on the main camera, did I? Oh, yes, I did. We've lost our chickens. Bye. I need to go back to our prefab scene. Can I undo the delete? No, it's fine. I can re-add them. They are prefabs, I believe. Anyway, it's not really what I'm worried about right now, though. I can return to that at the end. So gonna head over to my test scene. Sure. It's just not saved. Maybe that'll revert to what I want. So we got our camera. Then our player can reference that camera. This could maybe have a fallback where it just looks for like camera, not main, and grabs that. if it doesn't have one. All right. So get plant data. Yeah, so those big lists of like the plant and animal data to spawn in have to exist on something. So again, we're hopping back over to the other scene. I think it's over world manager. Yeah. Spawn manager maybe. I don't know why this is the prefabs. I don't think it needs them anymore. Let me double check on that. Yeah, see, it's all commented out. We fixed that last time with this static list that's just loading the prefabs at runtime. So I don't have to fiddle with like the Unity editor when it's just a single static list effectively. Anyway, let's copy the spawn manager into our movement test level. Okay, so I would expect at this point, anything left to crash? No, looks like this works like we would want it to. Cool. So what I want to do, the player isn't actually important to this. I mean, maybe it will be later, but I want to move this up. Like kind of a play you should have been parented, but that's fine. Sure, I want you to move. So I want to set up just a global animal spawn box thing. And I'll just spawn in animals onto these like test platforms. Ooh, do I like this better? I think so. I don't know if I ever. I'll think about it. But for now, I like it better. So yeah, what was I saying? I'm gonna grab under prefabs. These are platforms. That's the resource path. I need this path, the vertical. Throw it in our scene. Switch out chickens for rats. And I want it to spawn to the right. And then I'll add in a new prefab that hits some of the problem. It'd be one of the later ones. There. The current rats shouldn't be able to handle this. They are gonna hit the edge and not know what to do. Oops. Needs to be closer. Oh, also, this is probably a bad example because it's spawning its own rats, which is confusing. How about this one? Same deal, but has plants instead. All right. So yeah, this shows our problem right here. I'll zoom in better on it. These rats are very dumb. They don't really have any special behavior. All they're doing is they have a velocity cap. They just have this Q MVC means movement controller specific direction. So that just means always move in this one specific direction. So what I want to try and do here first is give them the ability to do a little hop. If they have like a 1-up like this. So the idea behind that is I already have an existing jump component that I could maybe steal off the player. It's too big. I could steal off the player, but there might be some assumptions to fix. Anyway, you do like a raycast. You find out your path is going to be blocked. You trigger a jump. You probably want to do like a second raycast here to make sure you can jump. I don't know what the fallback behavior would be, so maybe I'll leave this out for now until I have a fallback behavior. I'm just doing the simple, dead simple thing of, hey, you're running along. If you do a raycast, and um, actually, you know what's even simpler? So you can have number one. Yeah, I need like way bigger, like 200. Number one is just switch direction, where give me a finer. Try to, yeah, let's, our raycast hits, or I'll use red to indicate. We have a hit on our raycast. Therefore, we just flip our direction. That seems like the simplest. Let's implement that first. We can do a little hop next, but I want to just sort of implement these permutations one by one. Because then I can, tint them different colors, grab a different sprite. These different movement behaviors are maybe all the way, or at least some of the way, to different enemy types. Anyway, let's do this. I think this should be fairly simple, but we want to make a sort of common thing here that we all can lean on, that all the like derived behaviors can lean on. So let's open up under sprites. That's not sprites, scripts is what I want. New script where this is check direction blocked. How about, or check movement blocked? Wait, don't I think I already have something like this? What if I add onto my, yeah, I gotta go to my inspector, or not my project, my resource prefabs. Let's take a look at our, come on, Unity. I'm just clicking through a file explorer. I'm pretty sure there's an existing like MCL raycast where it decides to clamp your movement if your raycast hits. But I feel like this maybe could be used. Let's take a look. Got a raycast mask. Yeah, this is basically what I want. I guess I could get rid of. Problem is I'm already using the concept of like clamped movement to have a world box, and then I say destroy on clamp. So I can't. I guess, yeah, I could make that a new script and use this movement clamp from raycast to mean like that can trigger switching directions. That could also trigger doing the little jump or climbing up or something. Um, so this is really like pretty much what we want already. So I think I'm gonna disable. Oh, can I not? Oh yeah, I guess it's only used by other things. It's AABB. Yeah, it has. Or maybe it's in here. Oh yeah, it gets called by other stuff. Um, does this check? I want to check the base interface here to see if it's just using the first movement clamper or going through all of them. Let's just control F clamp. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this I might be trying to fit a square peg into a round hole type deal here. I think I can just like what is the like what I'm really sharing is this one function call. I can just grab it and use it for a different purpose. And have the same base. Um, I could even build on top of this if I wanted to, but that's like a code refactoring thing that I probably wouldn't do now. So yeah, there is an existing script that kind of does what I want, but not exactly, and there are some unintended consequences to using that implementation to do what I want to do here. So I'm making a new one. Which would be I don't know, I guess raycast check raycast movement direction, right? Yeah. This won't do much on its own, but then when we say like, hey, switch direction on raycast hit or something, we can respond to it. So raycast on movement direction. I just want basically the same code from MCL raycast here. I will need a mask to only cast at certain things. Sure, raycast scales and distance stuff. This seems fine to keep. Why is this like this? Private vector 2, private vector 2? Oh, it's so it's just saying the scale exists in addition to the local scale of the object. That's fine, whatever. We're taking all the stuff on this, where this is the list of layers that allowed to trigger this, so it would only be the terrain. Um, and we just scale sort of our internal distance and box size by the local existing local scale of the object times our like parameterized scales. Um, then here is where the raycast is actually checked. And I think we just wrap the raycast. Public pool or public hit. Raycast hit 2D. So, and it would be something like movement blocked. Or I don't know. Movement raycast, I guess. And then we just return, it just wraps our parameters. And we want to also get our movement direction. Well, we want to get our movement interface. Whoa, what'd you do there? To grab our movement interface when we're awake. And I also want to, while we're like working on this, debug draw this. But let me finish this first. I spelled movement wrong. Movement. And then instead of caster here, it's movement. I'm pretty sure there's get. This is close enough. It basically means movement direction. And let's throw this on lines and stuff though, because it's impossible to read otherwise. And I care more about being able to read it than I care about having to scroll and saving line numbers. Okay. Go draw line or draw ray, sure. And the start is transform position. And then it's movement, get previous movement. Get previous movement delta, time, and raycast box size. Well, this should be the normalized movement delta. Cool. Should this be? Yes. I want the direction, which is the normalized. Okay. So what do we expect this to do? Nothing. It just offers this helper function that now other components will be able to reference. It does have a dependency that something has a movement interface. Let's see if it works. We just need to add it to our rats, and it will do at least this temporary debug thing of drawing the ray that the movement is currently checking. So we need to go to that prefab for the rat. Oh, we already had it open. Go back to the inspector. Add, getting rid of this because we decided to go with a different implementation. Instead, we are adding this new thing, this raycast movement direction. We will, who cares about the mask for now? That's something for later. But we will leave the default parameters and just we want to see that it is being drawn. It wouldn't be drawn in the game. It would only be drawn in the scene. Yeah. It doesn't. It needs to be longer than that. And also, can we get a color? What happened to my other? Oh no, you shouldn't be like this. You should be on the same tab. All right. Let's give this guy his raycast checker. I'm just too not used to this. I'm moving you back down. I like the idea, but anyway. Double the size of the check here. Go back to our scene view. Hey, why didn't the color? Oh, because the thing is unsaved. Yeah, so that is a slightly longer check distance. Probably still not long enough. I also want this to be like this. Okay. As a sort of additional test here, I'm gonna make this like bigger. But as an additional test here, I want to first add another helper that just a simpler helper that movement is blocked. That if you don't actually need the hit data, you can just call this. Where it's just return movement raycast is not equal null. Can I not do that? It's always true since bool is never. Maybe it won't be happy unless I save it as a variable. Good, no. The result of his extension value. What if I make it like this? Why am I dumb? What am I missing here? You return a raycast hit 2D, right? And this other function here is able to check it, but that is not implicitly checking for null, I guess. Whatever. I don't know. I don't understand the difference there. C#, tell me, what is the difference between the previous statement I had there, where I just check if hit is null, and this statement, where I branch based on the contents of hit, and then return a bool? Anyway, I wanted that because now I want to be able to set the color where we'll do if movement is blocked, then ray color is green or red, and green in the other case. All right. Now, as a test, I'm also going to significantly reduce their move speed so I can watch them in like kind of slow motion, hopefully, watch the ray tick over and have smooth speed. Oh, wait. Well, actually, I'll do it real quick, but I thought of a mistake I made where I never set the ray mask, so it should never return true. But we can verify that that happens. So I changed values while the game was running. It's not going to save them. Oh, no, it did. Cool, whatever. Take this animal spawn box, also reduce the spawn frequency here. And, oh wait, that's increasing. Up is slower. Oh no, they don't make it. Alright, hold on, let me fix my view. Oh, and I actually have to use that ray color that I took the time to set. Let's move this over so they can land. Alright, there's a guy, green, green, green. He doesn't care about trees. But as soon, oh well, actually he doesn't care about anything, right? That's what we expected. Now let's fix that. I also want to increase this a little bit. Somewhere here, not nothing. What are these platforms? They are world. Okay. So we'll set that to world. So now we expect that the ray should be green for a while, and then when they get in range, ooh, I don't think this ray is right. Something's wrong here, right? That's why I wanted to make this test, I guess. So I think aha, this is the difference. This is the problem. That I'm only the raycast. Oops, this is what I need. The raycast size, angle, direction. Okay, I need this number. Oh, whoops. What is this? Dir. How is that not a... Oh. Is this not from start to start plus dir? Okay, then it's the normalized direction times that distance. All right. I have a feeling that, yeah, okay. So maybe it will now. It's a little sooner than I would think, but For the most part, it looks fine. Um, so now we have like a sort of helper component that we turn around when that hits. Key, or I'll just call it swap movement direction on blocked. So this helper component just basically builds on the logic from the previous one on a wake. I'll grab whatever that was. What did I call it? Raycast something? I'm sure it'll come up. Raycast movement direction. My raycast checker is this. And then on update, if raycast checker dot what was it? Movement is blocked. I think they should also have a cooldown, just so like it might be okay for them if they get like trapped in a like a hole for them to be running back and forth, but you don't want them running back and forth every frame because that looks stupid. So you want this should be private. You want some kind of cooldown before they swap directions. Private. It's okay, I can spell. Direction swap cooldown. Is I don't know. Half a second. Timer to go with it. Timer is greater than 0. Decrement the timer. Actually, just decrement the decrement the timer. And now if it's greater than 0. Oh wait. What am I, oh, if it's greater than 0, now if it's less than 0, if this decrement got us there, then we'll do a thing. But if it's not, if it's 0 or less, then we're not on cooldown. We can just do our normal junk of checking if our movement is blocked. And we also need our movement interface here. Let me take a look at how that's represented on the rat. All right. Come on, rat. How are you set up? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. World, cap, death burst, solve, very fine, whatever. What was I checking? I was checking how its movement is set up. It's translation-based movement where it has a movement controller of a specific direction. Okay, so Q, IMVC maybe. VC, I movement controller. So these like I components, where I set up a common interface that a bunch of things might want to do. So there might be like 10 different types of movement controllers or whatever, and this can, as long as this is operating on the functionality commonly available to the this, it's fine. I don't know if it is though. This might be specific to the move specific direction. Let's see what we got here. Let's just actually look at it. What's on the common movement controller? There is a movement direction. I could. These are all private though. Get direction from vector. I see. This is, yeah, where it's cool that I have interfaces and such, but in this case, we do want our specific direction one. Because I think this has the direction. Yeah, set direction. Is there a get direction? If there's not, I can just add one. Nope. Let's grab it that. Cool. Now we can get direction. Vector 2, new direction is the existing direction times -1, right? That turns positive to negative, negative back to positive, doesn't care what direction it's in. It'll flip it either way. And then here we also set up our timer, set it to the cooldown so it'll start ticking down. Then there's actually nothing to do here. In some cases you want this where you want to like, if it's something that's constantly happening, when the timer goes under, you want to do the thing again. But in this case, I'm not doing a thing when the timer runs out. When the timer runs out, I'm allowed to do a thing again. So it's fine. We'll get it next frame. All right, we add this new script. She is swap movement direction on blocked. How you doing? All right, green, green, green. Ooh, some of them are swapping immediately. It's every other one basically is swapping immediately. But why? And also they aren't swapping their facing. But I believe I just have to call. I'm pretty sure I have a system for that. What's more concerning to me is these guys that, what are they hitting on the world is what I don't get. I don't think the trees count. The trees are plants. How about this spawn? Oh, this spawn box is considered to be part of the world. I don't know if that could be the problem, if it's just like just a little bit up. I don't know what to call this. It's nothing basically. Ignore raycast, I guess. I'm gonna have to fix this on the prefab, but let's see if that's the problem. But I think the most likely cause of the issue is something I don't expect to be marked world is marked world, giving that false positive. That guy goes right down. What's happened to you, man? Yeah, so let's step through it. Well, not step through it, I mean inch through it, kind of. Okay, here's our man. Going down, down. That time it didn't happen. Ugh, I missed it on the next guy, though. See if we can get on this guy. He's hitting the other rat. Is the rat marked as a something? Tagged as an enemy. Yeah, I guess not. Oh, because it's a box raycast. It's not. So all it is when things don't resolve collision immediately. It's falling down a little bit into the world. Then it has a box raycast, which is leading to this meeting up with the world. So we need to fix that. All right. Okay. So raycast movement direction. I guess there's two options here. You can either have just like a slight update or use a line rather than a box. I think I might even be able to just fix it. It's not wrong per se. It's doing what I told it to do. Maybe if I just decrease the Y scale here. The box is less fat, like vertically fat, so I guess tall. See if we're hitting any false. No, yeah, it still hits. Sometimes. It depends how far down they're falling. Okay, yeah, let's use a line cast instead. And let's see what it takes. Start and layer mask. Cast a line segment against colliders in the scene. It's fine. Yeah, so we don't need this box size stuff. We will keep the distance scaling. But I think it should just be a float. My raycast distance scale is, I don't know, it should just be 1, I guess, by default. Okay, then my raycast distance, I don't know if this is necessary. Let's make these independent. Okay. Now we have the start, we need the end. So the end of our raycast is our start plus our normalized movement direction times our distance scale. What? Cannot, oh, fine. Okay. Then mask. I don't need these depths. It's good. Ugh. So annoying. This is one of the things that annoys me the most about Unity. It's like I have to do like some stupid gymnastics sometimes to not like just be in 2D. I only care about 2D. Why am I like down casting vectors all the time? Oh no, a compile error. Right. Maybe I should just functionize that. Get vector to ray end. I guess it's line. Get cast end. Technically, array goes on forever, right? And that's just this. Go back to using this. And then that's what we want here as well. And we don't need this to spill out on the multiple lines anymore because it's readable again. Even so small, might as well. All right, we compiling again. Ooh, that is not the direction I need you to go. That direction looks incredibly wrong. What happened? Oh, okay. Wow, that's so annoying. Oh, we need this part of it. It's only the direction. These guys are taking different things. I don't actually care about the end. It's fine. Raider. You are not working how I want you to work. Movement is blocked. We're back to, hey, maybe it just needs a slight offset. Hey, stop you. Just playing death sounds all the time. Get cast start. God, see, pause 2 everywhere. So annoying. It might be that like there's just some trick or like helper glue that I don't know that makes this not annoying, but certainly feels very annoying. This should be a vector too. Get cast start, get cast end. Get cast start, ray to ray color. And then on our rat, we want to give it a slight Y offset that will reduce the odds that a line cast will hit a false positive when they do their like squish into the ground when they fall from a decent height. So let's say 0.25. Okay, yeah, see it's slightly up. We're still hitting. I mean, it's rarer. You know, it might be interesting to add and also potentially an improvement in the behavior. We can fix the bug and improve the behavior same time. And that is adding a minimum number of frames required for the movement to swap. So we'll call this something like, we'll default it to 1, or maybe 2. Private int m minimum blocked frames. It should help us not, maybe even 3. Anything that happens for 1 frame now, like this script doesn't care about and shouldn't be messed up by. Or if it does get messed up, things will be fixed in 3 frames, less than a second. I mean, obviously less than a second. Anyway, we need private int m blocked frames counter on update movement blocked this frame. I think we want to privatize this, rename it to this, then we make this public, and we can just return if m something counter. When block frames counter is greater than minimum block frames, then movement is blocked. We check if movement is blocked this frame. We could just say blocked because the function name is documented now. So if it's blocked this frame, then if blocked, then we can add our ray color here as well. But the more important thing is we increment the counter or set it to 0 in the case where the movement is no longer blocked. counter plus equals 1, or in block frame counter equals 0. All right. So now they should have to have the movement block for 3 frames in a row before they actually swap their direction. Which should fix the case here where the first frame they fall down, they're kind of squished into the world. Hopefully, let's see. All right, he's going. Looking good. Doing what they're supposed to do. Pretty consistent. And it doesn't even make it look non-responsive, I don't think. All right. Next, let's connect to the facing system. So I'm pretty sure my boys here have a facing. Maybe they don't. But I know the tech exists. I might just have to update flip on facing or first Q face facing. Does this just work automatically? How does this work? Only use X, yeah. Wow, this is fancy. This is fancier than I expected it to be. Who's calling this report movement? Aha! The movement controllers. Including move translation, which is what we care about. Cool. So the movement automatically gets reported to this facing script. And then we just want to flip our sprite whenever flip on right. No, we flip on left. So that's not right. Maybe it is flip on right. I guess they're the opposite direction I expected them to be. Yeah, but it looks right. Let's speed our guys back up. And let's also turn the spawning up on our spawn box. Just to, you know, push more stuff through the system. If it breaks, let it break. Looks good to me. Okay. I know I have a jump. A general jump script here, but I'm not sure how. Yeah. Now we have a problem where this doesn't work exactly like I want it to. Because... Oh, whoops, I put on the animal spawn box, not you. Get rid of all this. On the rat. So let's go to my rat. Rat. What is adding a jump to you? Is it a problem? Q jump grounded. Okay, sure. Ground is the world. No. Okay, I want to delete this. I want to save this because I feel like this is a logical unit of stuff where I added this test level to specifically test this thing, and I have successfully tested. I implemented the thing I wanted to do, which is like some basic raycasting stuff, and then I want to, you know, change the movement if you hit an edge. I guess one good thing to check for a more end-to-end type deal is head back over to the main level and see that the normal rats spawning as a part of the game, like the existing animal spawn boxes and floors and stuff, aren't messed up. Because if there's any assumptions in that movement test level, we'd want to iron them out now. Man, it's so high up. Can make it though. Needs people to see them hit an edge. Oh, we damage boost our way up. Climbing up. Damn. Ah! I feel like I never got the opportunity to see them swap their direction. But it seems like the core game... Ugh, need audio. One day we'll fix that. And by one day I mean probably next Tuesday. Oh yeah, I can see as they fall, they sometimes are swapping direction. But this is good, I think, because it keeps some of them, or at least a larger portion of them, on a like closer to the center mass of the screen, of like where gameplay is actually happening instead of the edges of the screen where they're getting automatically killed. So yeah, let me open up my GitHub. Not you, Twitch, GitHub. And I want to save those changes. And then we'll see if we can add a second variant that uses this jump. Okay, so what did I do here? This is raycast, checker, and swap direction. All right. One day this will commit. All right, get out of here. Now, go to our rat. We want to add a second variant of rat that will jump instead of swapping directions. So prefabs, duplicate this, call it jumping rat, give it a color to distinguish it, and this is fine. Swap movement on direction blocked. Okay, this is what we need to replace. This swap movement on direction blocked here. We need to set up a similar script to jump on direction blocked. Okay. Probably want to look at our previous thing to just be a base. So I honestly, I'm gonna grab most of this stuff. Need a jump cooldown. Instead of getting my movement, I want my... Well, actually, I still need my movement. But it also needs a jump. Okay. Grab our jump as well here. Q jump jump. If anyone's wondering about naming convention, I just have Q means like some common non-game specific shared script. Then I try and have a 3-digit letter code to like categorize them. So like jumping and checking if you're grounded both have to do with like jumping tech. And then the actual name. Just helps if, you know, if I know, oh, I have this thing, do I have something like it? I just have to go to the category code of the thing that's similar and look and see what else comes up. That's pretty nice. Anyway, in our update, we have our same like cooldown gate type deal. My jump cooldown timer. And if our movement is blocked, not a new direction, that's not what we're doing. What we're doing is jumping. Do jump. Let's see what happens. Well, actually, there's a tiny bit more setup to do here. We need to go back to our movement test level. Well, and we also need to go to our animal manager, load our new prefab. I might reorganize these at a future time, but for now, I'm just going to add them in order just so I'm 100% confident Unity will not mess up any existing values. So we had a jumping rat, we had an enum for it, rat, chicken, jumping rat. Okay. So now it's in our list and stuff, which means if we go to our animal spawn box here, it should be one of the options in the drop down of like things to spawn. Yep, jumping rat. Let's see, do they jump? I copy pasted wrong. Jumping rat. Jumping rat. They're still switching directions. I think I just didn't. Actually, yeah, when I was touching that prefab earlier, I did not yet have the component, so they definitely don't have it. They still have the old one. So let's add our jump. I think this is too much force. I don't know, let's try 250 instead. Let's leave it at the base. I probably put it at that for something reason. That's probably a pretty good base with the other default base values. All right, so check if you're grounded on the world so you don't like try and jump while you're falling through the air. That's another, behavior permutation that could potentially be implemented if it's interesting. Flying rats, basically. We have rats with a double jump. Be pretty. I bet I could get it to be pretty cool looking if I put some time in, but who knows if that's worth. We just all we can do is march the content forward until the game is at the end. So our jumping rat has a jump now, but instead of this, we don't need this facing stuff because it will only go one direction. Instead of swap movement direction, instead we have jump on movement block, jump on direction block. That's not really what I meant. Oh, on movement direction, sure. I want to rename this. Can I? I just regret the name. It's so non-descriptive. Jump on movement block. Okay. Is that good enough? Is the rename gonna mess it up on the thing? Or because I renamed through Unity, is it good? Hmm. Uh, some of them are doing it. It's not really what I want. It's actually like a pretty emergent or interesting emergent behavior there because I like don't really understand what they're doing. Um, do they just need more jump force? Are they just like only making it sometimes and they have to bob up and down a bit? Maybe they probably need a larger raycast distance because you probably want to jump sooner than when you would hit the wall. Um, that makes sense to me. And let's give them more jump force. See if that helps. So they'll check sooner and they'll jump higher. It's weird to me that like kind of works. It works on some of them, but like some of them are getting lost. Let's take a look at our mans. Oh wait, this is why. I need to set the jump cooldown timer. So if they messed up their first jump, uh, is that? No, I mean, this is wrong, but I don't know if I don't think it's wrong in the way that is leading to that behavior. We're still gonna fix it, obviously. And jump cooldown. So that's a bug fix, but I still don't think that explains why we are seeing some of our mans here not jump. Now we're seeing not like very few of our mans jump. Maybe this grounded radius is too small and it's too hard. A lot of the times they aren't being considered to be grounded. So maybe they're bouncing a little after they hit the ground hard. That could be the answer. Like, why are they not jumping at all? Because jumping requires grounded. You know what we can do? We can just get rid of the grounded requirement and see if they all jump. It'll be a future issue to stop them from sky jumping, but oh, pretty good. Some of them are getting stuck for a second, but I think that's only because I think that's only because the raycast radius isn't long enough, or maybe 3 frames is too many at the speed they're currently moving. We can maybe dip that to 2 frames because I think doing an unexpected little hop is like less of a bad emergent behavior than doing turning around immediately and jumping right off the edge. Uh, so yeah, what are we gonna do? We're gonna yeah, let's just make a note in jump on movement block that this relies on jump, 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 Q, jump, jump. Uh, require grounded property was seeing some I guess users was seeing some things using this component that were not triggering jump due to not passing grounded. Need to consider how this should block sky jump in the future if that's desired behavior. Okay, cool. So I don't know if I want to like dig into that for now because like I don't really care about the sky jump distinction. If I ever want to have like 2 flavors of enemies where one is allowed to do a sky jump, maybe it can hop onto platforms it couldn't reach or something, and one is not. That's something I would have to revisit here, I think, to make sure it's unique to like whatever aspect I want it to be unique to. But for now, I'll just add a note about that assumption and modify the properties in the way I talked about. So specifically, we're going to reduce the frame requirement to from 3 to 2. So you only have to be blocked for 2 frames before you can jump, and you're going to check a little bit further. Also give you a tiny bit more jump force. And what else? Jump cooldown's fine. All the rest of this is fine. Let's check it out. Yeah, I don't know why it's a little. It seems a little non-deterministic. It kind of works. It'll be interesting. We should probably add in a tougher, some like a little bit of a tougher path here. Now, is this something they can handle? It's a little bit tougher for sure. Move this over a little bit. Up, over, and give them a tiny bit more. They get a little bit more raycast distance because it's still, I think that's still a big driver of the problem here. Oh, they're too far. Move the spawn box too far over. I didn't look to see if it was working. But okay. Oh no, they're hopping too soon now. All right. Went too far. But the overall hoppiness of the behavior seems good. It's just a little bit too far, so they're not timing it right. So the solution to that then is just reducing it back down a little bit. Went too far. And maybe give them a little bit more jump force. Jump force is generally good. The only time where it would be too much is if they start hitting the ceiling and it messes up the arc of their jump. All right. They kind of are still going to their death, but it's definitely way better than before, where they would have just been stuck in this corner forever. Pretty happy with this. And a nice bonus here is we can check for bad assumptions or bugs in the animal spawn box code. We never got the opportunity. Well, I guess I should preface it saying last time we made these animal spawn boxes, but since I only had like one type of thing, I don't think I was able to test it too meaningfully. So now we can add a second thing and make sure this works. So if I say I want a second type of animal here, I increase my spawn weights to 2, spawned animals to 2, leave jumping rat as 1, set a normal rat as 2, and then for the weight on the normal rat, let's make it more likely so the jumping rat is less likely. All right, so what do we expect to see? We expect we spawn both types of rats and many more of the switch direction rats with a handful of jumping rats. Yeah, it looks good. I think actually what I want to do though for like a nice endy bit is let's add another one over here and let's actually swap it. Let's make the one where they would jump off right away be more jumpy and make this one over here be more walky because they have a nicer path to go. So I would say spawn direction left, leave the parameters as they are otherwise, but then go over to my other animal spawn box and flip these parameters. Oh, oops, I forgot. There's invisible walls on the player. Let's not fall down there. So I lost track of attention. Okay, we have our guys hopping. We got our guys. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I fell down again. I'm stuck in the invisible walls. God dang it. I'm just gonna stop jumping around. So yeah, it's cool. Even these guys. Oh, I guess not in every case. Yeah, I mean, looks good to me. Cool. So yeah, that was just a little you know, not really a deep dive, not really a ton of new stuff, but we made a new level and fixed sort of the wonkiest part of our enemy behavior with 2 different options. So now we have some different enemy types to, keep permuting out different types of platforms and stuff. Something I might be interested in the future is wall following versions of this stuff, where once you hit the edge, instead of turning around or hopping, you crawl upwards and you can like sort of follow the path. You could have that in like sort of two variants. One where they can only crawl upwards, so it would be just run, 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 up, run, and then be able to climb again, climb again. Kind of a similar sort of overall movement path to what the Jumpy Boys are doing now. Um, or the alternative is you see some games, like I think Samus is an example, where they just sort of orbit the platform. They could like crawl, including upside down, including down. So they're just crawling around the edge of the platform. That'd be another interesting movement type to implement. That it's a little bit more complicated, but it does build off this same raycast idea, the same technology we implemented today that we use to figure out when we should jump or when we should swap direction. Uh, so yeah, just wanted to do, because I've been saying for a while, like maybe I'll do some game dev on Saturday. I know it's a relatively short stream, but I at least got some in. And I will be back again next Tuesday for like a 2 or 3 hour stream on 6 or 6:30 Pacific or so, where I will be looking at more enemy behavior stuff. Just keep on improving enemies. There's probably like, I think, 3 to 5 sessions of enemy stuff before I get it fully to where I want it to be. But this is definitely a good step in the right direction. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you later.